day of celebration. Today is a high point in our history of Unity of the Valley. You know, this sign was a dream of the board. Sandy was telling me back in 2008 or 2009, the idea started percolating. And thank you to our founding minister, Audrey, who held that vision and had us join in that vision. Behold, I make all things new, said the Lord. And in the beginning, God said, let there be light. So we have a new sign with our new Unity logo, and we can display wonderful, positive, affirmative Unity messages, and the whole thing lights up. Audrey, we want to take a moment to recognize you and honor you and thank you, because you donated all of your retirement gifts to the Sign Fund, and you held this vision. So thank you, Audrey. How's that for a show of love? I asked Audrey to stand and everyone else stands around. Yeah, you know, there are many, many, many people to thank and honor in this whole production. It was a big undertaking, and we all had a part, but some of us had bigger parts, so I want to take a few minutes to thank people. First, our love and gratitude goes out to our beloved Kate, the late Reverend Kate Pepler, who donated a huge amount toward this Sign Fund. And I think she's watching us right now. Yeah. Thank you, Kate. Yes, let's thank Kate. Our deep and sincere thanks and appreciation goes to David Latham and his crew for many hours of planning and physical labor to get this new sign installed, and to one of his crew, William Blanchard, who especially completed all the engineering drawings. David, would you stand so we can clap for David? And our gratitude and acknowledgement to Tommy Larson for his labor. And I don't know, Tommy, if you had a crew too, but all the time that you spent, and even some blood. Tommy, where are you? There you are in the back. Our appreciation and special thanks goes to Herb Hoke and John Henriksen, who are here, I think, almost every day this week, working on the grounds and hauling dirt and laying sod. Herb also washed windows for us to make it clean and shiny today. So Herb and John, would you stand? And Mary Schultz and her husband, I don't think they're here today, but they trimmed the trees so that we could see this sign. So thank you. Our gratitude extends to each of you. Thank you, everyone, for your financial contributions and for holding this vision with us. If I've missed anyone today or someone I didn't know about, I thank you as well. A dedication is an act of consecrating, which means to declare a place holy. Our new sign is part of our spiritual center, and it stands for the glory and honor of spirit in each of us. So today we pledge to care for it. We bestow our blessings upon it, and we are so grateful for it. The colors are significant. When we look at the 12 powers, we can see that the red bricks, which lay the foundation for this sign, red is the color for life and energy and vitality. The light blue is power of imagination, so it carries with it the potential of vision and creativity. And white symbolizes purity and perfection. White actually includes all the colors, so white is the unity of all colors. It represents unity and wholeness. We now declare the purpose of our new sign, to reach out to others in love and blessing. We will display affirmative messages for the world to read, such as one God, many paths, let your light shine. The ground where the sign stands is now holy ground, and the sign is dedicated to the light of Christ within everyone. We bless this sign and all who read it. After the service this morning, I invite you all to follow me out into the parking lot. We'll be able to stand close to the sign and bless it together. I'm going to ask that we say 4 times with our hands, we bless this sign and all who read it. So as a practice, let's say it together right now, shall we? We bless this sign and all who read it. Thank you. And it is so. Isn't that fun? Yeah. Oh. We're going to transition into the message now. So much celebrating today. That's a good thing. Well, about 2 weeks ago, we started on our journey exploring this book, Living Originally by Robert Brumman. Living Originally, 10 Spiritual Practices to Transform Your Life. I'm just going to take a few minutes to kind of review what we went through. We talked about what living originally means. When we hear the word original, we think of something one of a kind, maybe a original artwork or something of value like that. But we learned that living originally, at least for us in this book, means to live from our origin, to live from the Christ light within us. We also talked about transformation. Transformation is different than self-help. Transformation is life-changing. It's about a radical shift in consciousness, changing your worldview and maybe your sense of identity. We talked about Paul on the road to Damascus and his conversion experience. He was knocked off his horse and a light shined and he heard the voice of Jesus Christ. Very dramatic. And some of us have dramatic transformation, maybe a near-death experience or a traumatic situation or a very powerful spiritual awakening can make an instantaneous change. But more often we find that transformation takes place over time. Transformation is inner work, and it's a process. So other people might not see that you're transforming, but over time, your actions and your words and behaviors will reveal this transformation. Brumman, the author of this book, reminds us that it's really important to remember as we embark on this journey that we're not searching for a specific outcome. We're not trying to feel a certain way or have something in a specific way. Rather, we're on a journey with this book. There's no attachment to an outcome. So why would we want to follow the practices in this book? I think because we want to live closer, in a closer relationship to Spirit and from our origin, from our Christ nature. And this book describes a path, a way that we may transform. In my first message on this book study, we just covered the introductory chapters, and today we're moving into self-awareness. If you decide to read along in the book, we're moving into chapter 3 now. And I know many of you wanted the book and weren't able to get it, but now there are more copies available in the bookstore. We actually had a waiting list, and now there are some copies. And I invite you, too, to go to the sign-up table and pick up one of these bookmarks, because it lists the Sundays that I'll be talking about this book, and it lists the days that we're having classes. Someone brought to my attention that there might be incorrect information out on the buzz, so check this for the correct dates. So radical self-awareness. Oh yeah, I wanted to talk about the classes too. We met for the first time last week, and what we do in the classes just supports the reading. We will spend some time going through the chapter, but also discussing how we're applying these practices in our life, if we have questions and answers for other people. And then at the end, I will do a guided meditation involving this practice. So we met for the first time, a couple groups this week, and they were rich and meaningful discussions, and I think the people really enjoyed coming together to work on this material. So know that you're invited, and you don't have to come every time. Come whenever you can. We'd love to have you there. The author suggests that we take a full month with each of the 5 core practices, and we're going to do it in 2 or 3 weeks each, so that we can finish before the holidays and take a pause then. So I invite you to read chapter 3, but go no further. I said last time that this is like a good cup of coffee. You don't want to gulp it down. You're going to sip it, savor it, and go slowly together through this. It's not a novel. It's not a race. This is deep inner work that we're all doing for ourselves. So, radical self-awareness. I stand here. You see me. I'm a human being. Divine life is active in my body, breathing me and doing all the functions of my life. And if I look in a mirror, I can see myself. So I'm aware that I am here. I am an awareness. I am this consciousness inside my body. And then when I say that, I'm not sure my consciousness is all inside my body. It might be outside of me too. But anyway, my consciousness knows that I have this body and knows that I'm standing here. And I have this internal being who knows that I exist in a physical form. And then we go a bit deeper. I'm aware of my consciousness. I'm aware of my awareness. I'm aware that I am thinking. I'm aware that I'm feeling things. I'm aware of what's going on around me and the dialogue in my head. You see, I'm not just observing things, I'm adding commentary. The same way a sports announcer would give you play-by-play account of a baseball game. That stuff is going through my head. I'm making judgments and comparisons, and I'm having emotional reactions to things outside of me. You following this? And this is your life too? Do you have voices inside your head? Which one is the real one? Which one is the real you? Well, the answer, I think, is they're all part of you. But some of them might not be very helpful. Some of those voices might not be very loving either. For several years, I was in a women's book study group, and we read Jungian psychology books, and we recorded our dreams, and we wrote in our journals about our process. And we explored the origins of those voices in our heads. And we found out that many of the voices are archetypes. Archetypes are characters that can be found in all cultures. They seem to happen throughout time and culture and place on our planet. We share these common characters and themes with people around the world. They show up in our dreams, they show up in our mythology and in our stories. An example, well, a few examples of archetypes are the victim, the critic, the warrior, the caretaker, the hero, the sage, the magician, and there are many others. So we can become aware of those characters and what they say and what provokes them. It's all a study of our beliefs and our attitudes, and it's a practice of becoming aware of our mind and our body. Self-awareness, according to Brahmet, is to be aware of my present moment experience and to be aware of my mental, emotional, physical response to this experience, and to be aware that I am aware of all of this. Earlier this summer, in one of my messages, I was talking about Reverend Paul Hesselbeck and using one of his examples, talking about consciousness. conscious mind, unconscious mind, and the superconscious mind. And I used the illustration of an iceberg. Do you remember that? With the conscious mind being the tip of the iceberg, what you can see above the water, and the unconscious mind being that 80 or 90% that's below the surface. And then superconscious mind, divine mind, is this ocean of infinite potential and eternal love that the iceberg is floating in. Charles Fillmore said that we're designed to receive guidance and information from superconscious mind through our unconscious mind, and then bring it into consciousness and into manifestation and form in our physical world. My husband, John, is here today. Thank you for the daily word. He and I love to take walks. You know I talk about this. One day, a couple years ago in the fall, we were walking in Murphy-Hannerhan Park, and you may know this. We love to go there and let Jasmine run free, although she stays close by us because there's so many coyotes out there, I think. But that particular day, we were on the horse trails, and there's lots of woods, and they wind around the hills and valleys, and the prairie grass was up to my shoulders, and it was beautiful because it was fall. It was so colorful, and John was just exclaiming how vibrant the colors were today, how everything is popping out. The grass is so red, and the trees and the sky is so blue, and he was just amazed, and I couldn't quite see it. And I mean, it was beautiful, but it was, normal beautiful, but but then John took off his brand new polarizing tinted sunglasses. He had a different view, didn't he? Brummett in this book shares a very similar story. He says that there are two friends in a very deep and meaningful argument. Not. They're arguing about the color of some roses in a garden. And one insists that the roses are purple, and the other insists that the roses are pink. And they argue and argue until they take their sunglasses off. And then they both can see that the roses are white all along. Okay, so where am I? I brought in some rose-colored glasses for today. What do you think? Is this for a picnic? Yes. I stand here and I look in the mirror and I see myself, and I see these glasses that I wear. I'm aware that I'm here, and then I have these inner experiences that may or may not be associated with external events around me. And so when I take off my glasses, these are the lenses that I'm looking at life through. These are my attitudes and my beliefs. These are my life experiences. These are my habits of thinking. This is the culture I live in. This is all of that. And so when I take them off, I can look at them. I can look at them with new eyes. I can look at myself with new eyes. And that is what radical self-awareness is. And when we can shed the glasses and see with new eyes, with our Christ light in the driver's seat. Okay, so that's what it's about, and what are we going to do as self-awareness practices in this next week or two to help us take off our glasses and see ourselves and see the world in a new way. The practice of self-awareness calls you to observe your body and your mind. So, here's what you can do in the coming weeks. When you're involved in routine tasks at home, like mowing the yard, any kind of yard work, or any kind of house cleaning, vacuuming, washing dishes, or any kind of self-care while you're brushing your teeth, make it a practice to become aware of your body in that moment. And try to do this as much as possible, as many times as you can throughout the day. Take a breath wherever you are, whenever you think of it, And just notice your body sensations from head to toe. Sometimes we do that in our meditations here. Take a body scan, I might say. Start from your toes and move on up. Let's just do a quick example. Take one hand and look at it. For 10 seconds, just look at your hand. And now close your eyes and feel your hand. Feel the sensations inside your hand. Whatever you feel or don't feel is okay. But that's the kind of awareness I'm asking you to do in these coming weeks. To not look at your body, oh, there's my ankle, but to close your eyes and feel the inside and what sensations you're having. So practice doing that body scan. While you're eating, observe yourself. Eat slowly, mindfully. Become aware of any emotions while you're eating and any sensations that you have. And then as your formal mindfulness and self-awareness practice, set aside maybe 5, 10, or 15, 20 minutes a day for a sitting meditation. Whatever works best for you, you might decide to start out on the low end and work your way up. You can use a guided meditation. If you have this book, Robert Brumand leads a guided meditation. The website is listed right by the contents page. It's unitybooks.org/living. He has a meditation for each of these core practices. The one on this particular practice is about 14 minutes long, and he will guide you through silence, through body scan, through breath work, and it's a very nice meditation. So again, that's unitybooks.org/living. But if you want to do it on your own, you're welcome to do that too. So just begin your meditation by being with your breath, just focusing the in and out of your breath, and then paying attention to your body. And if there are emotions that come up, just notice them. If there are thoughts that come up, just be aware of them and move back into breathing and body scan when you become aware that maybe you're somewhere. It's all okay. It's all part of the learning and the spiritual path of this. There's nothing that you can do wrong. It's all good. So, we covered a lot of ideas in a short time. I wanted to keep this rather short today because we had so much richness and fullness with our new sign and our new members today. I hope that you'll join us in the book studies and enjoy this book as we move through it. And just as a reminder, to practice this self-awareness in the weeks to come. It's all good. We don't have a goal in mind. There's no right or wrong. No problem to solve, no specific feeling to strive for, and definitely no guilt, right? All right. So just be aware. I invite you in the next week to have a sitting meditation and practice self-awareness when you can. This is all part of our spiritual journey, and I'm very glad that we're taking this spiritual journey together. So, I'm aware of the divine light in me, and I'm aware of that divine light in each of you. The divine light in me greets and honors the divine light in you. Namaste.